write down what it is? I think you did that one time before.
You can run,
Yeah.
it can look like the agenda. I just took it out so it would be less because it didn't. But
That way we'll know what we're, okay,
that'll be fine.
so.
We'll table it?
Can you make a motion to approve it with those changes or those additions to it? So I have a motion on the floor
Yes.
by Councilman Jimenez. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Councilman Silva. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. 5-0. Thank you. Moving on to new business. Item 3A, consideration and action to amend the definition of subdivision in section 152.03 of the city's code of ordinances to exempt the dividing of a single tract of land into two residential tracts from the requirements of the subdivision ordinances. This was presented by Councilwoman Cantu.
Councilwoman, if you want me to explain.
Yes, please.
And so this came up, if you remember at last council meeting, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of the couple.
Do you want me to mention it?
Yeah,
It was Virginia and Ted Alfaro.
the Alfaros. And so they had a question regarding the requirement to come to the city and get a subdivision, go through the whole subdivision process and go through P&Z and come to the city council when they were just dividing a residential neighborhood or a residential lot into two separate lots. They said that the fees were, and I think it was $400 fee, was burdensome when they're just trying to sell a back portion of their lot to someone else to put a house on. And so it was asked what could be done on there, and so the proposal was to make it so that if you want to make a division of the land into any commercial would require subdivision, or change the definition of subdivision to remove residential divided into two. I know Mindy, there's some thoughts on that. I don't know if you want to share your thoughts from the development director and P&Z perspective on that.
So what we did some research on this, I looked up Bulverde, Pleasanton, Lavernia, Wilson County, Barron County, and they do have that. Some of the cities do have that in there where it's 4 or more, or the residential is taken out and the fees are less. So we could do something like that.
Okay.
You say the fees are less?
Yes.
If they divide it into just two, right?
Yeah.
And also, go ahead, Mr. Lee.
Let's see, the way the ordinance is wrote up, she's already been passed, so no matter what, we can't retroact it. But the way this is wrote up, you're gonna put an exception, or you're talking about the exception of just one person with one lot he wants to divide into two, so he gets a lower fee. So next week, if they wanna divide that lot into two more, and the other guy divide it into two more, that'll be just smaller fees. And we're still stuck paying Mr. Hammer $400. So we'll cost the city more money than to break even as we do now, right?
Yes, that is correct, because the city's required, it's a court ordinance, that anything that's going to be recorded for the city purposes is reviewed by our city engineer. So that is a fee that's passed on to the person who's requiring the requirement. I know sometimes people are upset because they've had a surveyor or their own engineer to record it, but as we're recording things for the city, we want to make sure it's recorded adequately. And so Mr. Hammond would have reviewed this. He would have given comments and made comments on this, and so there is a fee that we probably already paid him an invoice for this prior to them recording it.
But in this case, the owners already had done everything. They had gone through all the legal fees for everything.
They did part of it, they got another
They did the
part.
survey, in reference to do that for the survey, but actually we have to have someone with a license, a PE license to review it, and it is a cost for them to review it. So you would have to decide whether that we would turn that cost over to the potential person who's developing it and or dividing it, or the city would have to actually eat that cost. Because it will be a cost, because you do have the city engineer to review that. You don't have a city engineer on staff.
But they had already,
Why is it necessary for the city engineer to review a parcel of land that's already been divided, that's gonna be a homestead?
You need to make sure that it's recorded properly, that they have listed actually the proper legal address, the proper termination, that you want to make sure that it is.
Shouldn't that be to the landowner? Should they do that themselves? Make sure that,
They pay a surveyor to come in and to do that, and then you need somebody to review to make sure it's adequate.
so they have to pay twice.
Yes.
Because they had already paid for the surveyor, they had paid for the Marla, they had paid for filing fees for the county clerk, they had paid for all this. And they even have to pay for the planning and zoning.
It's
you're
an
not supposed to
application
pay for
fee.
planning and zoning.
It's a simple, if there was an application fee, there would be an application of $25. But if you, if not, then that's not something like what Chris talked about earlier when we were talking about annexation. That is something that's paid for by your ad valorem taxes. And so, my opinion is that why would I have to pay for my neighbor to record her property with my taxes? Because it doesn't benefit me at all. That's all for her purposes, for her to sell the property or to divide the property for her use. It's not for the use of the common good of the common people.
So they're asking her to pay an additional
We're
$400?
asking her to pay what it costs our engineer to verify her findings. It's no different than if her attorney prepared a contract, you would have your attorney to review that contract.
And the breakdown of money is $320 to Mr. Hammer,
Typically, we get 20% in the administration fee, so it's
20%,
20%.
and the rest goes to Mr. Hammer.
Mr. Heimer, Larry Heimer.
Heimer.
Yes, from
And
Stanton.
that's administration cost.
Staff time. Staff time is administrative cost.
What is?
Staff time.
Yeah, but she had everything done already. She already had everything done.
It's not just on this fee, it's any fee. We have an administrative fee of 20% for staff time, so that we can reimburse for ourselves for staff time.
of the purchase?
20% of the cost.
$400.
The $400.
Bucks of the $400 goes to the city. Now, who made the Mylars?
They provide the
And they pay
Mylars.
for that, and then who files them with the state?
The customer will file.
And so
They file with the county.
they'll file with the county, and then the county files to the state.
Yes.
So,
Our protection, legal protection is our engineer that makes it legal, so if they pass away and they get in the will, and they have it legally documented, and if a surveyor can't legally document it, right?
That's correct.
So you gotta have,
Doesn't have no responsibility on properties, does it?
If it's recorded wrong, let's say that for some reason it's a typo and it's 34
That's
acres,
where
and
the
they
title
record it
company
as 340 acres, and we allow that to be recorded wrong, then there's a lot of legal things we have to do to make
We
sure.
already do that through the county. The county takes care of that.
no, they don't.
The city, you all, that Mylar that they speak of, the city council has to sign that. You all sign that. Okay,
And
along
for
with the city.
subdivision, that's for
Well, yeah,
subdivision.
She's dividing her property, that's what she's doing.
And according to the ordinance.
And then you all have to sign it.
One
The
lot
engineer has to
divided.
sign it to say it's correct, therefore it's a document that we can record, but the engineer will charge us, and so therefore that's a cost that is incurred by the developer, somebody who's dividing the property.
and then each individual has to buy their own, has to pay for their own Mylar?
Yes, sir, yes, ma'am, it's part of the package when they do a survey.
And the filing fees for the county clerk?
And recording, if we record it, it costs them more, we will charge them for our time. So it's cheaper for them to go across the street from City Hall and to do the recording themselves.
Is there anybody here that wants to ask any questions?
Excuse me,
In the
excuse me, I will take care of that.
Okay, okay.
First of all,
No.
does anybody on the council have any other comments about this particular item?
Okay, does the state accept the surveyor's mark, or is that to be an engineer PE mark?
You need on the Mylar, they're going to require for an engineer to sign, and they need his PE license. So it's going to cost you one way or the other. Also, county will not record it unless the city council has signed it, and your city engineer of record, which is right now Mr. Heimer, has to sign it as well.
Okay, so it's basically how Texas wrote the law?
Well, he has, you see, with his wonderful license, his PE license and his stamp, he charges you a fee to review it and to use his stamp.
Right, we
It's a
gotta
matter
make
of
a
who's going, somebody's got to pay for it. So it's a matter of if the city's going to eat that cost, or do we pass that cost on to the person who's dividing it?
We like, we don't want to pass it on to more taxpayers.
It's the city council's choice, but I'm just saying that either we would have to eat that fee, the city will have to eat it, or the person who's dividing the property that's going to sell the property would have to incur that cost.
How many people would come back after us if we say we're gonna waiver that fee? How many people are gonna come after us?
Well,
and
I
say,
think
"Why
just
did you charge?"
recently, this year, we may have done 6 or 7 of those already.
Like, what is it, need more feasible to allow the purchaser or whoever's selling, the seller, to do their own, maybe.
That would be
they don't have to
negotiated.
go
It's a matter of checks and balances, Councilman. Someone has to check to make sure that their engineer or that their surveyor did it correctly. Someone has to check and balance. It's a matter of checks and balances.
And Texas law says you gotta be an engineer with a PE stamp.
Somebody has to verify and check. We don't have anybody on staff. You have an engineer who we have a contract to do, and so it is his responsibility to verify it, place his stamp, and for that there is a fee. Just like if you're going to have a notary, it's a fee. And so who's going to pay the fee is the question. Either the city will pay it, or the person who's dividing the property will have to pay that fee.
So what complexity of subdivision does that fee cover? So if somebody's just splitting a property, in this case, it's a geographical split that they're trying to make official.
300, if it was like 300, a parcel of 300, the cost would be relative to what the review time would take. So this is a very nominal fee. If it was something like they were doing 30 homes or a subdivision of 16 homes, the fee would be in excess of $400.
So it's already been negotiated based on the complexity.
It's based on the complexity and how much time he has to do the review.
So the question then would be if it can be negotiated any lower.
But he has the standard fees, that you all have agreed to in this contract, and he has standard fees. Just like, I'm sorry, attorneys have standard
I think we
fees as
just
well.
sign on those fees as well.
Yes, yes. And so an hour of the attorney time is an hour of attorney time.
Okay, are there any other comments or questions from the council? At this point, I will ask if any citizens' comments pertaining to this issue. Okay, I will entertain a motion, consideration action to amend the definition of subdivision in section 152.03 of the city's code of ordinances to exempt the dividing of a single tract of land into 2 residential tracts from the requirements of the subdivision ordinances.
I make a motion.
I have a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Cantu. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by Councilman Jimenez. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. All those opposed. Motion fails 3-2. All right, moving on to our presentation discussion. I am going to pull up, we're going into 4B first. Legal fee budgets and expenditures. Councilwoman Cantu has asked for these through the law office of Lou Rosenberg, so I'll let you guys.
Oh, we're gonna skip to B?
Yes.
All right.
Councilman, did you want me to start on here, or did you want to?
Yeah, go ahead and
Introduce
give
the
me
items.
let me find the page. Okay, go ahead.
So on here, Councilwoman Cantu requested the legal fees expenses for this fiscal year. And so what you've got in your packet is from October 1st of 2016 through May 31st of 2017. And what we've broken out here are the city's budget sub-files that are in there, and then the sub-files that the firm sends over. So there's 5, or I think there's actually 7 major budget sub-files. So general, police, election development, USDA water, USDA sewer, and the utility fund. And so going from left to right, you've got the monthly amounts that were expended, then a budgeted amount for how much the line item in the budget itself has, the actual expenditure, and then the net difference. And we put that in for green for under budget and red for over budget. And so to briefly run through here, you can see under budget on the general, the budget amount's $155,000. The actual expenditure is $79,000 with a net difference of about $75,000 on there. So 2/3 of the way through the year, we've expended about half of the budget on there. The police, the budget amount was 8,000. The actual expenditure is right at about 59,000. So the net difference on there is an overage of about 51,000 for that budget subfile so far. On election, the budget amount was $10,000. So far, we're at $15,500. So that's about a $5,500 budget overrun on there. On development, you've got annexation and land use is the main one under that. A budget of $10,000. Actual expenditures about $14,500, which is about a $4,500 budget overrun. USDA water, that's budgeted at $86,755. The actual expenditure is about $9,400. So there's a net difference of $77,332. That will also have bond fees in there, so that's not as under budget as it looks. It's still within budget from what I understand, but not $77,000 under budget. USDA wastewater has a budget of $35,000. Actual expenditures of about $14,000 for $21,000 remaining in the budget for this year. That's going to have less bond fees because the bonds have already been issued and things of that nature, but still, again, the same caveat as applies before. That rolls in all the other legal fees on there as well. The utility fund has a budget of $10,000. Actual expenditure is $2,500, leaving $2,592, and so that leaves about $7,400. So that's the legal fees expenditures right now. The over budget ones, I know PD is a big issue that's going on right now. The election, obviously that takes into account everything that happened at the end of last year. And then the annexation and land use, that one's over budget due to the issues with the annexation and that.
So the total we have budgeted for you is 155,000?
That's for the general. That's for meeting attendance, drafting ordinances, working on contracts. Altogether, that's 314. Thank you, Councilman.
And how much have we spent already?
Two-thirds, 273,484.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
And what's the balance? 1, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 51,000? So we're not even halfway. And we're supposed to pay the,
We're 7 months, we're over halfway.
We're at 8 months on the fiscal year, so 2/3 of the way through the fiscal year.
okay. And then, can I ask, again, why did we hire the new law firm? Is that,
That doesn't go towards legal fees. Yeah.
Not on the item.
okay.
But remember, half the new council did not come on board until November 19th. So all the bills in October, November, part of December was by the old council. Which, as you can see, we spent over close to $7,000 just on the election problem.
On the mandamus.
Thank you, I didn't want to see that word.
Well, it's not as much as we're spending on the consultant.
To this date, since October, we have spent $58,999 in the police department when the council budgeted $8. Any other comments?
And this
Hey,
will let you know
I was
more.
asking because we're gonna pay, I know you said the last meeting that we had, that we were gonna pay the new attorneys with the same budget. And, I don't think there's enough in there.
Just to give you a trivia thing, the old council is spending an average of $21,000 a month. These are your numbers here. The new council is spending $20,000, right at $1,000 a month less. And we inherited some of the stuff in November, December, so that's just the average. So we're all spending the same amount.
Well, I don't have the figures, so, I mean, they're right there, I can get them.
Yeah.
That's right, I will.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other comments? Okay, moving on to our next presentation. Report by professional consultant regarding the Floresville Police Department. We have,
We need to set up, the
Okay.
projector here.
okay, we'll take a 5-minute break to set up for the PowerPoint presentation. We'll be back in 5, it is now 5:56. No. 7:56.